Hey guys, and welcome. This is the abridged version of this tutorial. If you guys would like to see the extended version where it took me almost, I think it was around 30 to 40 minutes, I can definitely do that. I can break it down for you guys, but you guys kind of know how I work if you guys have watched my last couple years of videos. So essentially what I do is I break it down from basic to tone curve to HSL, and I kind of go down that way. It's all to taste. Nothing is set in stone. I don't do anything particular. One thing I do. I go into the curves and I split them up. So I'll work on the red channel, the blue channel, and the green channel, and then I just kind of add points and see how I like it. And then last is the bottom, which is my color calibration. And then that's where a lot of things kind of happen. Sometimes I will go in and I'll do like brushes here in Lightroom. I try to keep it in Lightroom as much as possible, just for ease of just getting it done and then having the ability to just kind of like jump into Photoshop and work from there. Usually what I do in Photoshop anyway is mostly skin toning and just like little tidbits that I couldn't do in Lightroom. So like I said, there's no rules. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to go through and try different styles. I'm going right now into the gradient map, and then I'm just changing the blend mode and seeing what I kind of like. And then I'll kind of go from there. So what the gradient map will do is it'll hit different points of like the image. So it'll change the shadows, it'll change the highlights, it'll change the midtones, and it kind of does it with the colors that you pre-selected. And if you've used one of the presets that they have, then it's kind of using those colors. And then I'll do like my general cleanup, like the lash was coming up there, minor details that I know that will bother me later. So like she did have a little bit of chapped lips, which is completely normal. And then I did in Lightroom, I did add more clarity. So it is going to enhance those things. So it's not, out of the realm of normal. And then here what I'm doing is I am adding a layer. This is a two-part layer. So one of the layers, the first layer was a softening layer, which I added a Gaussian blur to. And the second layer is a sharpening layer, which is, I believe, has high pass on it. Now I'm just going in and I'm brushing it on and off of areas of her face. So this is kind of a way that I do a different kind of, I don't remember the name, but frequency separation. There you go. Different kind of frequency separation. So it's not the general frequency separation that you guys see and learn. This is just a little bit easier for like quicker edits. It's not as, tedious. You don't have to go in and do all the crazy fancy stuff. And then I feel like for beginners, this is pretty basic, I guess. And then I will add the sharpening over like details and stuff. And then again, just going in, changing up things, doing like selective color, changing the color and tones of the highlights, changing the tone of the skin tone. But overall, from what I wanted this image to look like, I wanted it to look kind of like sun drenched and like very warm, which it already is. We used a reflector on the right hand side of her, which actually flipped, would be her left side because she's looking into the camera. And then we had sunset on the left. And then all I'm doing now is I am removing some of the redness that, kind of happens when you start playing with different channels and you start creating different dimension in the colors. So I'm removing the red from her eyes, so the whites of her eyes, and then I'm also removing some color from her teeth, just because, again, when you play with a lot of channels and when you do selective color, you're using it as a universal thing, so it's not like you're targeting this one area. So again, we're working layers on layers on layers, and then you can always go back and add more. So I wanted to add more dimension. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding more and more and more layers of that filter high pass, and then just adding some different kind of looks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll just delete them. You gotta learn, from somewhere. You're not gonna hit it right on the head the first time. And I feel like that's very important to see also when you see professional photographers. Like, not everything that we do we kind of like. So we will go back and, change it up. We will delete a layer. We will, keep working on it. It's not going to be perfect the first time. So again, I'm just tweaking the image as I see fit. I'm not gonna go off of, like one direct thing. Main thing with working with different images is just creating basically an image you like. So starting off with, a base idea, and what I usually do is I will think of, this inspires me, and create kind of an inspiration board and go from there. Usually that includes going on Pinterest, getting inspiration, not directly copying because that would be bad, and then just kind of going from there. And then I did get a lot of people requesting how I work on skin. So being, not using a plugin like the portraiture, or, using like really fancy ways of doing it. They kind of just like how I did it here. So if you guys definitely want to see something like that, I can make it happen. And yeah, that's probably going to be our next video. But that's it, guys. This is our final result, and I hope you learned something new. I know this is a quick and just easy video to just kind of listen into. Again, if you want to see this more in depth, please leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like it and do all the YouTube-y things. And yeah, again, I hope you learned something new, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!